It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to another episode of Afternoons with Saturn, where on the day set aside for the ancient Roman god of fun and feasting, we hungrily eat at the table of a never-ending cinematic bounty of treats as the daylight shimmers away. Today, we indulge you with our scrumptious panel featuring Mandy Kaplan, Ocean Murph, and I, Rob Cabasco. Welcome to Saturday Matinee.
What now?
Yeah, I don't know what.
And
you know,
I love that. I was going to say, and I'm ready to go, Rob. I have my rings on. Let's do this.
Oh, you know, I always, whenever I'm up, right, for the show, I'm always like, what other twist can you put on Satmat? And I'm thinking to myself,
I feel like we should do it to the death. Only two of us survive this podcast.
So
right?
It's like the Thunderdome to enter one.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
in the Thunderdome. I kind of did. I kind of went I sound a little crazy when I did that. When I was writing it, I was like, I wonder what voice is going to come out. And that's what happened. It sounds like we're about to, I don't know, become cannibals. Okay, that's not what we're supposed to do. No, on this day, on this beautiful Saturday, and yes, Saturday is named for the ancient Roman god of Saturn, if you did not know. Yes, here we are to talk about movies in a world that is peaceful and serene. Oh, no, wait, I just got this. It is not. So, but we will carry on anyway.
This just in.
This just in. Not peaceful, not serene. That's okay.
Well, depends upon what country you're in.
Well, that we will not say anything else. For all of our international listeners, you know, just keep us in your thoughts.
Yeah, no, they're good. Yeah, they're at concerts, hanging out.
You guys, way to go.
Like, what's wrong with you people?
Yeah, we're going to figure it out. I'm so thrilled to have you guys. I love when it's our crew here. We have an interesting show of, some fun and newsworthy stuff. We're going to dive right into the news. And, okay, the first thing I thought, because I'm so glad, Mandy, you brought this up. And the first thing I said is, where in the world is Samantha Jones? Because what is the deal?
She has moved on.
We're talking about the Sex and the City. It's a reboot. What are we calling it?
10 years later, HBO Max is doing a 10 years later. The three ladies who are all executive producing now, Sarah Jessica Parker, Cynthia Nixon, and Kristen Davis, life and love in their 50s in New York City.
New York City will be the fourth character. Is that?
Well, it ain't going to be Samantha Jones. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, if people don't know, I mean, we know that there's been some problems behind the scenes, right, between the actresses here. This happens in life. We understand that. We wish everyone well. But okay, now just in terms of the creative part of this, what do you do? Do they kill her off?
I would imagine not. They'll say she's living in Morocco with a lover or something and unavailable.
She stayed in the sequel movie in Abu Dhabi.
In Abu Dhabi, yeah. She married that camel and they are happy. Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Camel. Okay.
I would imagine they wouldn't want to close the door,
Right.
but she has come out quite publicly and said it was not, that she was not happy with how she was treated and no love lost. So good luck to her.
Yeah, I find that I'm on the fence about watching this, and I find myself in a weird spot when it comes to Sex and the City. So I don't know anyone else that's quite in the same boat that I'm in with this, but this is how I was with Sex and the City. When it was the television show on HBO and it was out, I watched every episode. I was there for every premiere. I was, it was Sunday. I think it was a Sunday night show. So it was Sunday evening watching, and I watched every single one of them. It was appointment viewing for me. And then when the series finale happened and they had Mr. Big's name on her phone and she closes it up and they do that, the shot to New York, I was like, all right, I'm done. I had no desire to see anything else that happened. So while having seen every episode, some of them more than once, I've not seen any of the movies that they've made subsequent to that. And I don't know that I'm really interested in watching this. I really felt at the end of that series, when they completed it, I was like, I thought that was complete. That's all I needed to know.
I get it. The movie is a mixed bag for sure, the first one, and the second one's a mixed bag of crap. But
yeah.
That first one has some really great moments, really satisfying as a fan. But I understand that feeling, Ocean. It's like it exists. It was perfect. Let's just let it lie.
Exactly.
I feel that way about almost everything they're rebooting.
Yeah.
Just let it lie.
Yeah. No. Well, I think, and I know a lot of people have talked about this, is speculating that a lot of the reboot stuff is because you're trying to figure out what can you make with smaller budgets. And the idea would be is that maybe in one way, revisiting certain things is easier than coming up with all new stuff. I don't know. I'm sure there's more to it than that.
Well, and there's a built-in audience. They
Right.
assume the audience is coming back.
Yeah, but they're purportedly getting paid $1 million an episode. So the big three. So that doesn't sound like a cheaper budget to me. That means you're $30 million in just to get the ladies in the door. Right? That doesn't count anything else.
No money will be spent on catering. No money will be spent on pretty much anything else. This may be shot on iPhones. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Right. It's gonna be potluck and do your own hair and makeup.
Yeah. Interesting though for HBO Max. I mean, again, you can really see, I don't know, we keep seeing this theme of, wow, the streaming wars are coming into their height. Like this 2021 is going to be huge for all of these different services and the content that they're trying to deliver to people, especially like you said, like the people who they know there's an audience out there. Are they willing to show up and subscribe and do all that? So interesting. We'll see. Speaking of reboots and other things, I did post the news story about Bruce Willis saying that he is in talks to reprise the role, I'm sure, for the last time in Die Hard 6. I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't know. He's in a commercial now. I don't
stop. I know for the battery. What is that?
Come on.
I mean, we're sullying the name here now.
They must have, somebody saw the ticks on that commercial online and went, hey, maybe people want to see another Die Hard movie. Yeah, they didn't actually ask anybody. They probably should.
No, they did not. I find that on the opposite of Sex and City, I honestly think they should have stopped Die Hard at least one movie back. You can make an argument for two.
Yes.
The first three were great, and after that it gets questionable. But again, though, I feel that I need to know myself and admit my own truths. And yes, I will watch Die Hard 6, but I would prefer that it never be made and they would just pretend that the end of Die Hard 3 was it.
Right. Yeah. And then, we saw, Ocean, I saw you had some stuff about streaming. There's a story about the Many Saints of Newark, which, again, another show reaching into the past, which is trying to be a prequel to The Sopranos. That's been delayed, which is odd because it sounds like it's done. And I'm not sure why they're delaying it, but I guess there's still some hope that things are going to work out here with the pandemic in the short term. We'll see.
Well, from what I saw, the delay of that is that they want it to be Oscar bait. And so they're going to try to delay it a bit longer, hopefully to get it through Sundance, optimistically that comes back around so then they can get more eyeballs on it, more word of mouth, and then get it ready for award season. Because it's a small movie, and unless they're able to get one of the streaming services to buy that movie for an amount, for a decent amount of money, then that would be, they're keeping the traditional path of trying to make money with it. It's an interesting idea. I actually, before you put the article up, I hadn't heard about the movie. I know that they have, Michael Gandolfini, James Gandolfini's son, to play a young Tony Soprano. But
oh, really?
Yes. So in the pictures and then what you see online, I mean, he looks like Tony Soprano, so they got that going for him.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know if Michael Gandolfini can act, but I mean, he can look like his dad. So there's that. But it is kind of one of those things of where The Sopranos was great, right? It's, it is, I would say, inarguably one of the top 10 greatest shows ever made. But, some people put it as high as up number one, right? It's a great show. But with it, I don't find that I want to know, well, what were they like before the show started? It's like, well, who cares what they were like before the show started? The show started at such a great point. I mean, if anything, you want to know what happened after the show went black, right? Like when they just turned the lights off, like, well, what happened?
Right.
Did Tony live? Did Tony die? That's what you want to know. So, you make a sequel to The Sopranos and maybe I'm paying attention, but a prequel, I don't really, it doesn't really matter because the stakes are lowered. Some of the characters from the show, so who's going to live and who's going to die, and it's going to be a violent movie. So when they try to make you feel that Tony's life's in danger, you're like, well, he's not gonna, because I met him on a psychiatrist's couch 30 years after this.
Yes.
But also, Ocean and Rob, don't you feel that the Let It Lie thing applies? The Sopranos
100%.
existed.
Oh yeah,
it was great.
Yeah.
Why can't we let it lie?
Yeah.
Just let it be what it was in all our lives.
100%. Yes. No, I agree.
The only thing I would give to this is that if you haven't seen the photos, his son, it's eerie. how well he looks like what you would think that character would look in the 70s, or I think that's when this is taking place. And it is a great opportunity for his kid. I mean, like I think obviously that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We are still in this path of reboots and revisits in ways that, probably are not best for the original source material. This will, though, it's Warner Brothers release, so it will be on HBO Max. So when it comes out in September, that's already set. It's just weird that they're pushing it, like you said, though. I think they're pushing it probably for some Oscar consideration. So we'll see how that actually finally comes out.
Yep. And it will help HBO Max some in the streaming wars.
Oh, yeah.
Which, speaking of the streaming wars,
exactly. Very good.
Netflix has decided that in 2021, they will premiere at least one movie every week.
Wow.
And that is really dropping the hammer. Right, because when you think about streaming services, everybody wants the new flashy content. You want to have a good catalog, and that's all great. But after a while, people sign up for one thing, but to keep them signed up, you need to have new material. And Netflix is saying at least one movie every week, and that doesn't count whatever TV shows are going to come out as well. So that means every week I can go to Netflix and I can say, hey, there's something new here. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. Like and even most recently, they had the Nicolas Cage documentary of the history of swear words, which is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
By the way, if you haven't seen it, it's funny. It's great. But they're what they're really doing, I think, is pivoting. Really all entertainment industries, all of the big major Disney Plus, Warner Brothers, Netflix, they're really trying to pivot to, okay, we have done what we need to do to get the subscribers in the door. And now we need to pivot our model to make sure we continually provide new content to keep them in the room. Because you don't want to have it where, hey, we have this great and wonderful show on Netflix that we've dropped the whole season of. You sign up, you watch the show, and you end the subscription. But by doing this, you're going to keep you around. And so I think it's a brilliant move on Netflix's part. And this is another way that, honestly, this streaming wars is turning into where, the companies are warring, but, the consumers, we're the ones that are winning.
It's like the late night wars.
Yes.
It's our version, right? But
with no Jay Leno
I watched
in the closet.
that. I watched that 2-minute teaser that they did on the Netflix 2021. And I have to say, it got me so excited. There were so many different things, rom-coms and action and family movies. And it thrills me. It's the more, the better.
And I love the opening line of it because I was like, oh, that's how you pronounce Gal Gadot's name.
Oh, I thought that too. Because I said Gal Gadot for so long, and then it's hard.
Gal Gadot, what it is. But now that she said it, I'm like, well, that's what you say. That's what I think is the right pronunciation.
I think the big issue that all the streaming services are figuring out, though, is that I think there is this belief, whether it's real or not, remains to be seen. But there is this belief that people have a set amount of money they are going to spend household-wise on streaming services, just like in their head, I'm going to spend $100 on cable, 5-10 years ago. And there's a limit. And as you continue to get Discovery Plus and all this other stuff and whatever Paramount's going to do with CB, all this stuff, you've got people realizing, okay, I've got what my budget's going to be. So this month, which one am I cutting? And I think that's why you're seeing just this real ratcheted up, after Disney had their investor presentation with, we're going to get to a point where we're going to have at least 1 to 2 new episodic shows a week. That day's coming. Everybody else goes, well, okay. and this is a result of that. I mean, obviously this is not something they did overnight, but it's going to get competitive. And I think you're absolutely right. The consumer wins in this because there's just going to be a tremendous amount of what you hope is great content.
Yay, us. Well,
but, and also with one movie every week, I mean, really, they just have to do 1 out of 4 and you stay around. So, so it doesn't all have to be great to keep you interested. And that's,
exactly right.
I think another benefit of the volume that they're now putting out.
Totally. All right. Speaking of great content, trailers. We had some very interesting submissions this week. I'm going to go by the list. Here I see before me. Ocean, you have one that I am confused by, but I'm also totally interested in. What trailer did you bring?
Yes, I saw it too. So the movie So the synopsis of this movie is it is a mind-bending love story following Greg, played by Owen Wilson, who after recently being divorced and then fired, meets the mysterious Isabel, played by Salma Hayek, a woman living on the streets and convinced that the polluted, broken world around them is a computer simulation. And the name of this movie is Bliss.
I have a picture in my head of a place. I don't know if it's real, but it has a feeling, and the feeling's real. Hi, my love.
Hi, Dad. I wanted to talk to you about my graduation.
I'm gonna be there in the bleachers. I'm gonna see you in your... Let me, how about I call you back?
Okay.
Taking the day off in here? The boss wants to see you.
I get a whiskey, double.
You're real.
Sorry?
I want to tell you something really cool. You see all these people outside? They're not real. This is a simulation. You ready? There's my guy. Welcome home.
This place is overwhelming.
Dr. Isabel Clemens pioneered brain box simulations, ugly, simulated worlds to generate appreciation for the real world.
Why am I not remembering any of this?
Don't worry about it.
There I go.
Most people say ignorance is bliss. But I say you have to experience the good. So appreciate the bad.
No, the other way around.
Exactly.
And it looks great. It looks like I thought that from the trailer that it looked good and that it looked kind of mind bending at first, where it's like, okay, well, is it he's kind of tripped out on drugs and everything, and he's on a hallucinogenic, and then therefore he's seeing things, and that's what we're doing. We're doing a trippy ride. But then what you see is the back and forth of the real world, and so really you see throughout the trailer he's going back and forth in the real world. And so I think that what comes interesting to me then is it leaves that open question, which was interesting to me, is which world is real, right? Because by the end of that trailer, you're not really sure. Is the world where where Greg and Isabel are a couple who are experiencing romance and finding love together, is that the real world, or the real world where he's down and out loser and having struggling problems with his daughter, right? So I find that it looks interesting. It looks like it's a definite different take on love stories. It releases on Amazon Prime on February the 5th. So if you have Amazon Prime, it is included in your subscription. And so I'm looking very much forward to it.
Absolutely. Mandy, what'd you think?
Not my thing.
Oh.
I didn't.
Mandy, I was like, I'm gonna finally have a movie that Mandy likes, and nope, I just can't do it. Well, as far as picking movies that Mandy likes, I'm still bad. Mandy does not like. I'm batting 1,000. All right.
Well, I'm batting less than 1,000, but what about, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if Kathy Lee Gifford is not in it,
God,
I am not.
I should have had a timer set up. Countdown to a Kathy Lee Gifford reference. Oh, and don't go too far down that alley because we're going to get to your trailer in like 30 seconds.
I thought of Sandra Bullock. Was the main one.
Oh, Sandra Bullock.
Sorry, Mandy, we've been interrupting you. Please, what did you think?
I am not a fantasy science fiction person. So I was initially like, Owen Wilson, haven't seen him in a while. Cool. And then the idea of what's real, what's not real doesn't appeal to me. So it's not my cup of tea. I thought it looked well made. It had elements of a movie I actually do love, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That, could this really happen? I thought it looked beautifully shot. I just wasn't, I'm not going to see it.
Well, you had me, first of all, you had me at Salma Hayek, number one. Number two. Now, number two, and I think this was amazing. When Bill Nye shows up in the trailer, you go, wait, he's in this movie? What is that? So I'm very interested in that. And I got a very Matrix meets Vanilla Sky vibe, right? So,
Vanilla Sky.
And I'm
hopefully it's more Matrix than Vanilla Sky.
I mean, I wasn't gonna, of course. But you know what I mean? Like, okay, where is this going? What's happening and stuff? And I'm just interested. And Owen Wilson. Yeah, I mean, because I love Owen Wilson. So this will be interesting. And hey, if you got an Amazon Prime, you already got it. So you'll be watching it in a few weeks on February 5th. Great pick. Mandy, would you like to tell us the movie that you selected?
Terms of Endearment? I'm just trying to think of a movie that you might like. I don't know. You seem to already hate my movie choice.
No, hold on. I haven't said I think it's going to be a gender swap tonight at the Roxbury. I didn't say that yet. Go ahead. Tell us. What was the...
Oh, it could be. Yeah. It's Barb and Star visit the Del Mar. Or go to Vista Del Mar.
Vista Del Mar. It's a weird rhyme.
Falling, baby, we stand alone. Out on the street, anybody we got morning comes at home. And we got nothing to be you to you. I know, so many mountains near or beyond. And we never live alone.
Hey, Barb.
Yes, Star.
You know what I just love?
What?
Movie trailers.
Me too.
I like how they're little movies about another movie before a different movie.
Sometimes I find myself watching a trailer for a movie while I'm watching a totally different movie.
What? Me too. Barb, what if we had a movie?
What?
Then we'd have to have a trailer. Oh, yes, listen, I wouldn't want to give anything away, though, about the movie.
Me neither, especially our faces.
Gosh, I can almost see our trailer now.
It's like a teaser trailer. I thought they did a really fun job of showing us the world, but not the characters. I love the way it opens with the kid on the bike singing his heart out. I laughed out loud. I'm a huge Kristen Wiig, Annie Mumolo fan. I loved Bridesmaids. This is their long-awaited follow-up, and I'm excited. It's out February 12th, and the trailer says Anywhere You Went Movies. So I'm not sure exactly which platforms or what that means, but I'm excited. I'm going to laugh.
It is. You should absolutely go out and watch this trailer because it is. You will be annoyed by the trailer, but that's the intent because they never quite show you the full faces of either of the main characters. And it's done into a point where it's making you want to see the movie, which I think is obviously a very funny thing. As much as I can make fun of this, as much as I don't want it to be Boat Trip 2 or anything, else like that. And Boat Trip, don't even Google it. Cuba Gooding Jr., you don't want any part of that. Here's the deal. This is the movie I get the vibe from that through all its silliness, through all of my comments and snarky things, I would suspect this movie has a tremendous heart and will have a beautiful message about life. And that is, I say that totally sincerely. Like, you could just tell already. This is one of those movies you're like, oh, I'm not going to see that. And then you watch it and you go, that was really good. Yeah,
Well, like Bridesmaids.
Yes.
Bridesmaids was very moving.
Well, I guess then I will be the contrarian to both of those points of views because I did not particularly care for Bridesmaids. And so I also don't particularly look forward to this. I thought the trailer didn't really tell you anything. It just said, hey, here are some funny sequences and scenes that we're just going to throw at you. Beginning with the kid singing, I'll grant that was cute. But then I found I could not get out of the whole, wait, he's delivering a newspaper. No one has newspapers thrown at their porches anymore, but all right, fine. I'll let that go. But yeah, I think that the trailer just didn't tell me anything. You kind of have to trust that Kristen Wiig is funny because Kristen Wiig is funny, right? And I'll give her that. But, yes, the fact that, I'm clearly in a minority here, but the fact that it is the same people that made Bridesmaids makes me then think that, well, all right, now I've seen the funny parts because when I saw Bridesmaids, I felt that I saw the funny parts when I saw the trailer because really Melissa McCarthy was hilarious in Bridesmaids and you saw all the hilarity in the trailer. And then when I saw the movie, I was like, meh. And so this to me looks like, well, that's part of why I also view any movie suspect when they have a trailer where they don't tell you anything about the movie because that then to me is a red flag of, well, that means there's not a lot here to your movie.
I prefer that to trailers that I feel like now I've seen the movie. Right. I've seen everything.
Yeah.
I prefer to be teased because then I'll try it. So We agree to disagree, Ocean.
Yes.
You can't see me.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Mandy.
You guys can see me, but you're listening. You can't see this. I have had a grin on my face for the last 3 minutes. I love the fact that it's the three of us on this show, right? Because this is totally like, oh, well, I think that sucked. And I love this, though, because it's civil discussion about different viewpoints and different likes and dislikes, and that's how the world should be.
Okay.
Wow.
I think this.
Wow. I can't. You've gotten taller on this soapbox there.
All right. So here's my pick. Now, my pick was a. I mean, I snuck it in at the last minute because on the day we're recording this just came out. This is the trailer I picked was for a movie called Cherry.
I'm 23 years old, and sometimes I wonder if life was wasted on me. I take all the beautiful things to heart till I about die from it. If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing. Hey, I'm really happy you're here.
Why is that?
Because I like you. But there never seems to be enough time to do. You're it for me.
I feel the same way.
I joined the army.
Why would you do that?
Sometimes I feel like I've already seen everything that's gonna happen. And it's a nightmare.
It is an upcoming Apple TV Plus film, and Apple TV Plus, bought the rights for this movie, about $40 million. They bought the worldwide rights for it. This is a film starring Tom Holland, and it's directed by the Russo brothers. And yes, those Russo brothers. So of Marvel Cinematic Universe fame. It's really looks. I mean, there's a point in the trailer, like halfway through the trailer, the movie changes. Like the trailer changes to something completely different. And when you read the promotional part about this, I mean, it's going to deal with some really serious topics. Tom Holland plays a Cleveland man named Walker who joins the army after being spurned by a girlfriend. He becomes an army medic in Iraq, is traumatized by the experience, suffers from PTSD. Because of that, he then gets addicted to heroin and to pay for his drugs begins robbing banks.
And it's a musical.
And it's a musical.
Unbelievable.
And if I can sweeten the pot on this, what really blew me away about it was that his girlfriend is played by Sierra Bravo. She's an American actress. I think she's in her early 20s. And you'd say to yourself, well, who is this person? If you had a child that grew up in the last 10 years and watched a little TV show called Big Time Rush, you know who this girl is because she played the younger sister of one of the main characters on Big Time Rush. And now, of course, you're looking at me like, what are you talking about? Big Time Rush was a huge deal. They were like the Monkees version of One Direction during the height of One Direction. So they actually had a TV show and it was literally like a modern day Monkees. It's absolutely hilarious. And I would say that if you have,
I'm going to check it out.
Tween daughters or tween sons, absolutely watch it because it's really funny and really kind of upbeat and nice. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. What surprised me was that one, this was obviously an unexpected announcement. It's Tom Holland. It's the Russo brothers. And this looks nothing like I would expect from any of those people. And that's what drew me to it.
You know who else stars in this movie?
Yes, who?
Michael Gandolfini. Crazy, right?
Did I miss that? Really?
I just looked it up because I wanted to see if he looked like his dad. And then I saw his credits and he's in the movie Cherry. And I was like, oh, that's weird.
Oh, I missed that. Okay, that's incredible. Well, there you go. So any other thoughts? Well, that's amazing content I did not know about.
This movie scares me in a good way. Like it looks so intense and dark and potentially heartbreaking.
Right.
But it also looks very good and well made. And I've never seen Tom Holland in anything. So I'm curious because I think I've seen him in interviews and on talk shows. He's a delight. Oh, Ocean hates me. So I'm curious to see it. And he's doing an American accent.
Yeah. Yes, he is. This is
English, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm intrigued by Cherry.
So I understand that you haven't seen Spider-Man, and at the risk of continuing to bat 1,000, there is actually a side movie. I'm going to take a tangent. There's a movie called The Current War about Thomas Edison, and then with the inventors Thomas Edison, Tesla, and I don't remember the third guy, but as far as
I read the book.
It's Current War. It is a movie. Tom Holland is in that movie as well, so you can then see him when he is not playing Spider-Man. That movie has Benedict Cumberbatch and Michael Sheen. It was Michael Sheen in it, and so it's a great movie. But okay, so that would let you then see some Tom Holland, because I understand you haven't seen Spider-Man, which that does hurt a little bit. But I understand. You skip Spider-Man. Okay, so. So yeah, getting back to this movie, which looks great, by the way. Honestly, I had been really tying back to our previous conversation with the streaming wars. I had been looking at my streaming portfolio and started realizing, Apple TV Plus is kind of slacking right now. So I may dump that. And now that I've seen that they're going to have this, it's like, oh, well, look at that. They now get to hang around for another month or so, to see what they're going to then provide. But the movie looks great. It looks very entertaining. I am looking forward to not only that, it looks like there's going to be, you're going to have a love story mixed in with some action, mixed in with some reality, because he's in that trailer. He's clearly suffering from some PTSD and some CTE, really, with the ringing and the concussions and everything that he must have suffered in the military. And so I think it allows them to really kind of go through, allows them to do multiple phases of the movie, where it can be, fun at points, and then, action, give you your action sequence for the violence at points, and then also, really have a message to say. So I am looking forward to watching this.
When you said that, I love the fact that in the trailer, he kind of breaks the fourth wall and he talks directly to the audience, and he's done it. I know it could be done cheesily. It's not. I think in this trailer, you get the idea that, no, this is going to work really well. So that's another dimension of the film. I think, no, boy, you just made Apple. If there was an Apple target demographic analyst listening, they just, wet themselves, because that's exactly what they want to hear. Like, oh yeah, you want to continue your subscription for watching this. You should also continue it for season 2 of For All Mankind, but that's another conversation. Here's the deal. If you want to watch this movie, it will be in theaters, staggered release, theaters on February 26th, and then it will be available on Apple TV Plus on March 12th. So just a few weeks after they're going to try and get a traditional theatrical release and then get it on Apple TV Plus. Well, that was wonderful. Invigorating. I feel like I've learned something. I've become more cultured. Thank you both.
So, and
3 of us move on to the next round.
And
now.
And before we hear more about this on the Discord, I want to then correct a couple things. The Current War stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Michael Shannon, and Tom Holland. And so
Michael Shannon, not Michael Shannon.
Okay. Yes. It's about,
very different actors.
Yes, it is. It's about Edison, George Westinghouse, and then they throw in Nikola Tesla, who's played by Nicholas Hoult. But it is a good movie. It is not, there's no superheroes in the movie. And so it is something that you could then have a teaser or an appetizer of Tom Holland's acting abilities before you see Cherry.
I will not see it because I like watching your face when I say things like, I've never seen Tom Holland in anything. Okay. I like watching the bile rise for you. So
that's mean. Thank you for correcting that, though.
I can respect that.
And that's good. I got to check that out. I've heard of it, but I have not watched it. All right. So little diversion time. Now, I think many episodes ago, I know we now occasionally on SatMat, we do the brackets, and I believe they did brackets of movie presidents. And I thought that was awesome. And I wish I would have done it, because as some of you may know, especially our international listeners, because you do have the news and the internet, that the presidency of the United States has been in the news. And I thought, let's do something else. Let's do something else about movie presidents, because I found some information in this that I just thought was incredibly interesting. All right. It's going to be Name That Movie. And don't worry, I've got hints and everything, but it's Name That Movie. President of the United States, same actor, but different movies. Because here's what's going to blow your mind. 16 actors.
I need a hint already.
Yeah, no, don't worry. No. This will make sense. Okay. No, because once we get the first one, you'll get it. 16 actors have portrayed the President of the United States in more than one movie.
Okay.
So same actor, but just different movies. Maybe the same president, maybe not the same president. So that's what I thought was interesting about this. And then there'll be a thing at the end that just blew my mind. So of the 16, and I'm just going to tell you heads up, like some of them, I only picked 6 that we're going to play in the game because like Henry Fonda is one of them. He played the president in Failsafe from 1964 and Meteor in 1979. I did not.
Meteor in 1979, I was going to say.
Yeah, you weren't going to know. Nobody's going to. And if you did know that, well, God bless you. That's amazing. But nobody else is going to know that. But then there's other ones like, great actors. Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman played the president of the United States in Absolute Power in 1997 and Welcome to Mooseport in 2004. So, pretty cool. I mean, definitely a different take on the character. Anyways, all right, so here we go. So we got 6. And the first one is simple, but I'm going to, Ocean, we'll see if Mandy gets this. Okay, here we go.
My hand is on my buzzer.
So I'm going to give you the name. I'm going to give you the name of the actor, the name of the president. And then and then if you need a hint, I will give you the hint. And there's no contest here because it's only 6. It's fine. But we're going to see if you get this. Because if you get this, then we're in good shape. If you don't, then I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we could be totally effed.
The actor is Bill Pullman. The president is President Thomas J. Whitmore.
I want to say Independence Day.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Yes.
Yeah?
It's Independence Day. And I know everyone's like, well, okay, come on. Yeah. No, it's Independence Day. It's good. The hint, if you needed it, the hint was July 4th is for the world. And yes, the 2 movies that he played it is Independence Day. And yes, it's somewhat less liked sequel, Independence Day Resurgence, which, I mean, that's another conversation for another day.
I've never seen that movie. I never saw Resurgence, so I didn't even know he was in it.
He is in it. It's weird. Yeah. We won't talk about that. Okay, so here we go. Here's our next one. Number 2, Leslie Nielsen playing President Baxter Harris. Do you need a hint?
Well, that sounds like a Naked Gun movie. Right?
I mean Leslie Nielsen.
One of the Naked Guns. Yeah.
Well, no.
Or is he actually the president in the movie? Or is he?
No, that's his character is President Baxter Harris, President of the United States. That's the character's name. The hint will be not Scream sequels.
Not Scream sequels? Oh, like is it like Scary Movie or something like that?
It's
Is it Scary Movie?
Close enough. It's not Scary Movie. It's not Scary Movie 2. It's Scary Movie 3 and Scary Movie 4.
Oh.
Anyway.
So that sounds that sounds like that's
a bit hard.
Yeah. That was good. All right, that's good. You come on, that's perfect. Okay. All right, next one. This one is a little bit dear to my heart. Jonathan Pryce, distinguished actor.
Yeah.
Playing the president in 2 movies. And if you need a hint, knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Oh, yes! Way to go!
G.I. Joe. Now we have to pay for the song.
Well, I like the Cobra version, but yeah. Wait a minute. How did you knew that? You knowing is half the battle? You knew that from like the PSAs that they used to do.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. This is awesome. All right, we're going. All right, here we go. All right, that correct.
So you know G.I. Joe PSAs, but Spider-Man's just out of bounds?
Okay, come on. Just let her.
It's a beautiful mind, Ocean. It's a beautiful mind in here.
Okay.
Right now,
I'm just trying to understand because I don't. Has your son seen the old?
You'll never understand.
Have you shown your son the old G.I. Joe's cartoons? Because I showed my kids that I bought the DVD of the old G.I. Joe cartoons, and they had a DVD of it, and they have those PSAs in it.
Oh.
So we take what we get. All right, now, and just to be clarified, that is G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, and G.I. Joe Retaliation, the sequel to that. All right, so next, we're halfway. Next actor, Morgan Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
And this is amazing. He's actually played the president in 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
First is President Tom Beck, and then acting president and president Alan Trumbull.
Well,
name any of the 3 movies.
Tom Beck is Deep Impact, and that's because he won the he won the president pool last time, so he's the greatest TV president.
I'm glad you remember that.
President. Yes.
That was a little reach back to a previous episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't there one where I'm going to mess everything up? Gerard Butler is.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Secret Service.
Olympus has fallen, or London.
Yeah.
Olympus has fallen. London has fallen. Something's fallen. There's 2.
So this one, it's the two. It's 2 of them.
There's like a
right.
So
So Morgan Freeman's in Olympus Has Fallen and from 2013, and Angel Has Fallen in 2019.
Yeah.
And that's race. Yes. And I could have put Aaron Eckhart on here because Aaron Eckhart is president in, I think, 2 of the 3 movies as well. I didn't.
Wow.
I put Morgan Freeman because Deep Impact, because I wanted to have the rest anyway.
Yes.
And Deep Impact, such a great movie.
It is. It really is good. Mandy's never seen it.
Yeah. It's,
I can tell by the look on your face. You've never seen it, have you, Mandy?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. And don't mention the other one because the other one might be coming up soon. So let's hold on.
Okay,
all right. So,
we'll hold off on the other one, yeah.
Now,
Meanwhile, we're doing a podcast and I'm nodding as an answer. Way to go.
It's fine.
It's theater of the mind.
They can hear it. They can hear it. Okay, if you needed the hint, and if you needed the hint on this, I just thought this was funny. Deep Impact from 1998. Its slogan, I just thought, like, here's 2 movies that are like 20 years apart. And listen to the copywriter, the slogan on the movie poster. Deep Impact, oceans rise, cities fall, hope survives. Right? Cool. The slogan for Olympus Has Fallen, when our flags fall, our nation will rise. I mean, it's like the same thing. It's like, okay, bad stuff happens, we rise up. All right, down we go.
They want to sell some hope. There's a giant meteor coming at the Earth.
I mean, that's what we got to do.
That's what we got to do.
Okay, so next actor, favorite actor of mine, Bruce Greenwood,
JFK.
He plays, and it's just, and there's no
JFK,
name. It's just
right?
President. Bruce Green. Oh,
Bruce Greenwood. He's in JFK. Isn't he JFK?
No, he's not in the movie.
No, he's not
JFK,
in the
but
movie
he plays
JFK.
He plays JFK in the movie 13 Days.
I have to look this up. I have to look this up because that wasn't my answer.
It's him, right? I'm looking it up now
I
too.
feel like
I'm pretty sure he's
JFK.
He played JFK in 13 Days.
Yeah. Is that the one with Kevin Costner too?
With Kevin
no?
Costner, and it's Bruce Greenwood, and I don't remember the other actor that played Bobby Kennedy was.
Teamwork, Ocean. Yeah. We got there.
Yeah, no, look it up. 13 Days, 2000. It came out in 2000.
Okay, so wait, he's got 3. Well, you named one of the 3. I didn't have it on there. Wow, that's crazy. Now, you know what I think the difference was? No, clarification. Fictional presidents. That's what it is. So this, wow.
Gotcha.
You guys are way smarter than me.
Put on my conspiracy theorist hat and I can.
If everyone would please buy Oceans and My Biography of Bruce Greenwood, available on Amazon and wherever your favorite books are sold.
Yes.
That'd be great.
I'm a mess. I should have clarified that. You guys have made, I'm an idiot, but this is good because we're all about truth. Thanks, Wonder Woman. And so, so this is how it's, so this is how this goes. All right. So can you name either of the other 2 movies?
He was the president?
That he's played the president, fictitious presidents.
Don't you have to tell us the name of the president or something else?
There was no name. It was just the president.
The president.
In this situation, and as we get here, there are no names for the president. It's just the president.
Could we get a hint, Rob?
Yes, and the hint, one of the movies is Jerry Bruckheimer with Nicolas Cage.
So that's The Rock.
The Rock, right.
Is he the president in The Rock?
No.
Well, Jerry Bruckheimer and Nicolas Cage is The Rock. Is there...
Or Con Air.
No, it's neither.
There's no president in Con Air.
Can I tell you something? This went exactly the way I hoped it would. The answer to this question is not The Rock.
It's not The Rock. It's not The Rock. It's not Con Air. Gone in 60 Seconds, was that them? But then I don't think there'd be a president in it.
No. So there was a president. Think of...
is it The Nutty Professor? I give up.
National Treasure?
National Treasure, Book of Secrets.
National Treasure? Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The
so
second
2007.
one, when he goes and kidnaps the president.
President.
Yes, he goes and kidnaps the president to get the information from the, what is it? Like
Declaration of Independence or the Constitution.
The information for a book with a bunch of codes. The president rattles off like 15 different numbers. Nicolas Cage just nods at him like he memorizes it and walks away. And not to mention, he kidnaps the president and then walks away.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. No, totally. That's the one I immediately think of. The other one, it's a later movie from just a few years ago, Kingsman: The Golden Circle. He plays he plays the president in that, and a very evil president. So interesting. Okay, now, and I'm so glad this worked out the way it did. Our last actor is Stanley Anderson. He plays the president, just the president, in 2 movies. Let me give you the hint. Same hint. Jerry Bruckheimer with Nicolas Cage.
The Rock.
The Rock. Now,
I don't know who Stanley Anderson is.
Okay,
though.
now if you saw him, you totally see him. He passed away, I think, a few years ago. He plays the president in The Rock. What's the other movie he plays the president in? So and when you find this out, you realize Armageddon. Armageddon, which is from 1998, it was the dueling asteroid comet impact movies. This is what's amazing is the theory is Armageddon and The Rock are in the same universe. The movies actually take place in a same timeline because it's the same guy who's playing the president of the United States, which, I mean, wow, if you're going to be president, that's tough. You almost had to blow up Alcatraz and you also had to save the planet from a comet or asteroid, I forget.
Yeah,
and you had Bruce Willis. And then, and then you had to send Ben Affleck. Of all people, you got to send Ben Affleck to save the world.
Well, yeah, but John McClane, Bruce Willis was with him. John McClane was, there to save the day.
Okay. That was fun. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a great game.
We tried. All right. So very good. All right. So we had. Okay. So it's pick time. What was the theme this week? Was we were talking about this before we went on air. It's dangerous. It's dangerous liquids you fall into. You shouldn't fall into.
No. Here is the insidious nature of this theme. The theme is don't fall into that liquid. So danger. It may be implied, but not necessarily required. It's just don't fall into that liquid. And actually, as a point, I had to look up. I started looking up what. I'll get to. I started looking up what how that came about with the movie. And in the movie, the character that falls into the water, she falls into the ocean, and all it does is it triggers other events in the movie to happen that she doesn't necessarily want to have happen. But she did not die or have any lasting damage from falling into the water.
Oh,
phew!
Yeah. Okay, so I took liberties with all of that, and also
me too,
and also with the definition of liquid.
Me too.
Yes. All right, okay, I'll go first on this one to get the ball rolling. So, my first movie. Wait, no, I'm not.
There are rules, Rob.
Yeah, look, you're trying to jump the line.
Wow, can I tell you something? I really thought I was going to sneak that by you.
Yeah,
and I thought I did that really smooth.
No.
But you did do it well, and I appreciate the style points. And the attempt was beautiful. However, my list of this is so small because this is such a tough one. I'm trying to get my movies in before they get stolen.
Go ahead. What do you got?
I hear you. Go for it.
So normally I like to be able to talk up the movies, but really in this case, like I said, I really struggled with this topic and with this theme. And so I'm just going to say the movies and describe the scene. So the first movie that I chose is Predator. And the reason I chose Predator was in the penultimate fight scene, Arnold Schwarzenegger realizes that the Predator can only see in infrared. And so what he does is he covers his whole body in mud so he cannot be seen by infrared, and he sets a bunch of traps, and he's having a fight with his bigger, stronger foe. And he really has the upper hand. The Predator can't see him. He has all those traps. He's doing really well. The only rule he needs to follow is don't fall into the big pond of water in the middle of your fight. And the second he does that, then the Predator can see him and then, basically grabs him, and then they have the fist fight at the end.
All right.
That was really good. I feel
like that was spot on.
Yeah, I actually think that's exactly what the intent was.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, mine is going to be different. No, although I'm going to reference a movie that I think might surprise you. And I'm so jealous I don't get to use the word penultimate. It's one of my favorite words, and I don't know why. So good on you, Ocean.
Oh, thank you.
But in Empire Strikes Back, Han Solo goes into that liquid and comes out all frozen, which gave me nightmares throughout the rest of my childhood, and I've never seen the movie since. But I remember that's the liquid, so you should not fall into that liquid.
What?
You mean carbon freezing?
Yeah, carbonite.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Wait, so that your pick is The Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah.
That's also brilliant in a way that I don't know how to explain. Like, oh man, I went, okay. That's great. I mean,
we are crushing Rob's spirit.
Well, I mean, oh no, don't worry. No, I have saved something for the end. You're going to hate me at the end of this. Okay, that's a great pick. All right. So I went, now every time I do this, I always, obviously we try to make sure that we haven't picked a movie that's been picked before.
Oh, that's out the window.
Oh, no, I understand. No, you try. I try to do that, right? No, when I looked at this movie and I was like, well, there's no way this movie has never been mentioned before. Because you know what the very first movie is, and Ocean's going to know this. You know the very first movie I thought of when I heard this theme.
I don't.
Tromaville?
Jaws?
Tromaville? The Toxic Avenger?
I've never seen the Toxic Avenger.
Oh, my friend. Now listen, let's just say, okay, so my pick is the Toxic Avenger. I would like to call it, this movie is all based on the dangers of insecure toxic waste transportation. If you're going to give it an alternate title, it would be The Ballad of Melvin Ferd, who is the nerdy health gymnasium janitor who basically is mercilessly mocked. And let me just say, this movie, 1984, this movie is Exhibit A in the horrible, not politically correct, bullying everything about characters that came out of the 1980s in movies, right? So, I mean, if you have never seen it before, you're going to be shocked and in awe in a few places based on our sensibilities today. However, back then, even now, cult classic. I can remember watching this in high school and just thinking, who made this? This is insane. It's crazy. It spawned a whole series of sequels. I don't even know what else more to say. It's a crazy movie. If you haven't seen it before, it's absurd. It's silly. It's obscene. It's insulting.
Is there a scene where he falls into some toxic waste? Okay,
yeah. So basically, they've tricked him. There's not the spoilers here. This character, everybody from the gym, and it's all basically the pretty people. And I remember 1984, trick him into thinking he's gonna make out with this girl in the pool. All the lights are off. He's dressed in they make him dress in a ballet outfit. And when he opens his eyes, he's kissing a goat, and the entire gymnasium is filled with people watching him do it. He's flips out, runs, and to escape the crowd, this gym is like a downtown urban gym. It's on a second floor. He jumps out a window, and unfortunately, outside in the street is a tractor trailer filled with open barrels of toxic waste. And it's there because the guys who are driving the truck are actually having a cocaine binge, and they're not paying attention.
Wow.
I've pretty much told you everything you need to know about the movie.
It's so crazy. You just described my wedding night to a T. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's selling the movie right there. That's great.
Toxic Avenger. It's available for buy and rent on all the usual places. Right. I mean, there you go. Yes. All right.
And in keeping with the theme, I guess it's my turn now. So keeping with the theme, yes, I also was surprised that Predator had never been mentioned. So I picked all movies that weren't mentioned before. So the next movie I picked is Unbreakable. And I picked Unbreakable because in it, Bruce Willis is David, who is discovering his unexpected powers. And he, near the end of the movie, he tracks down a janitor to a house where he is invaded. Where this janitor has invaded this house, he's killed the father, and he's holding the wife and the two children captive. And as Bruce Willis, David, is freeing the children, and the hostages and everything to save the day, he has to avoid the giant pool that is in their backyard because water is our superhero's weakness. And of course he does not. He is pushed into the water and he almost drowns, although he ultimately gets saved by the two little girls that he freed earlier. And then he can go back and then, go get back when he gets dry to go and, fight the janitor and save the day.
Nice pick.
Okay.
All right.
Again, you guys, I think really got the essence of this. I went the literal expected route. But anyway, that was a great pick.
Well, I certainly did not follow the rule of not picking things that haven't been picked before. I didn't check. So I apologize.
That's okay.
To the Satmat world if I do that. But one of the ones that occurred to me, and I don't know if it's Batman 1 or Batman 2, but aren't they having a big confrontation on top of a vat of acid?
Oh, the original, the 89 Batman. Oh, yeah, classic.
With the Joker?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson is, but he's, oh, no.
You don't want to fall into that liquid. Don't fall in.
You don't.
No,
You don't.
You
Yes. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, Batman. Does he slip? Does the Joker slip, or does Batman drop him? They leave enough mystery there. You're not really sure.
I don't remember the details. I just remember that there was a scene.
Yeah, it was
big vat of acid.
it was a staged robbery of Axis Chemicals, and it's the first time Batman showed up, where he was seen by the police. And then there's gunfights going back, and then there's a conversation where he and the Joker kind of just really looks at him like, tries to get away from him. And then oh goodness, what is it, like some type of either the batarang or something scratches the Joker and he kind of falls over a railing.
He deflects a bullet. He deflects a bullet, and the bullet goes through his cheeks.
Okay, yeah. And he falls over a railing, and Batman grabs him. And there's a scene where they're focusing on their two characters' hands, and Batman's kind of pulling him up a little bit. And at that time, he's still Jack Napier, not the Joker. And Jack Napier's looking at him like, all right, you're going to come save me. And then their hands shake a bit, and then all of a sudden, let's go. Right. And so then the way it's filmed, it's not certain. Did Batman drop him, or did they just lose their grip?
Yep.
The weirdest part of that scene is then when they go to this close-up of the vat of chemicals, and a clearly mannequin hand comes out of the chemical. It's not a real person's hand. Yeah. You can clearly tell. And it's white with the green nails. Yeah. And it's like, oh boy. Oh, that's iconic scene. And iconic. You don't want to fall into that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
All right, my second pick. Okay, so I went with this because it's been so long. I don't think I've seen this since it came out. And interestingly, in Satmat lore, they have mentioned the sequel. They never mentioned the original movie, and that is The X-Files. So the original X-Files movie from 1998, not the I Want to Believe, because that one's from like 10 years after in 2008. But this one, I think the title they gave was Fight the Future, which was kind of like the little add-on to so people would know what it was and differentiate it from the show. Everyone knows it was based on Chris Carter's iconic television series, David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson, Mitch Pileggi. And this movie, the original movie, takes place actually within the episodes. So it takes place between seasons 5 and 6. And the movie opens up with 35,000 years BC. And there's an area where these caveman hunters come across this black oil-like substance, and they get consumed by it, and hilarity ensues. And there's conspiracies and aliens.
Wait, they're saying there was oil 3,500 BC?
Yeah, it's an alien. The oil is an alien. It looks like black oil. Yeah, by the way, and they are in North Texas. That's kind of funny.
Wow. Was Jed Clampett there too?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Texas tea.
Yeah.
It's
exactly. Got to move away from there.
Yeah. No, it's kind of an interesting. I mean, if you get a chance to watch it again, same thing. It's rental and purchase on all the usual places. If you're an X-Files fan, it's worth revisiting. I think. Maybe not. That's number 2.
Sounds great. Great pick. So, sorry, I'm just distracted by it because Mandy's face was like, yes, she's going to go right out and watch this movie.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So I'm like, okay, so my third movie was one that I, for a moment, thought Mandy was going to steal. But fortunately, and this is, for me, the difficulty of the list and how I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel with this stretch of how this scene works. But the movie I picked was Batman Begins, which also surprisingly has not been mentioned on this show, which is, it's a great movie.
Hashtag great minds.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And in it, there's a scene early on where young Bruce Wayne, who is learning to sword fight on ice from his mentor, Deckard. And after a month of, after months of training, they don't really say how long it is, but basically months of training, he finally gets the upper hand and wins a sword fighting sparring duel against Deckard. And his only mistake is he ignored his surroundings. And then Deckard, played by Liam Neeson, hits the ice with his sword, cracking it open, causing Bruce Wayne to fall beneath the ice into the water and into the liquid that he does not want to be in.
You do not want to fall into that liquid.
Has hypothermia for a little bit, and then he goes on to become Batman. So in the grand scheme of things, he still won.
True.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Mandy, what do you got? What's your last pick?
Okay, it's a very emotional film starring one Will Ferrell, who is refereeing a Jell-O wrestling match. Now, I don't know if Jell-O counts as a liquid. But when blue falls into the Jell-O, He does not recover, guys. You're my boy, Blue.
Wow.
I'm talking old school.
Wow.
You know, the argument of is jello and liquid or solid aside, which I think is great. That's the best pick of that. That's the best one. That is awesome. Because Blue dying is.
Blue dies in the liquid.
He dies in liquid. Yes, he does.
Now he dies of a heart attack, but he would not have had a heart attack if he were not in the liquid.
Yes.
Okay. And see, I'm glad you picked that because that's a perfect segue into my final pick. But I'm going to tell you something. I rule it as fair. Liquid, fine. It's liquid. It could be poured. Could it be poured? Then it's a liquid. Wait, is that how that works? Yeah, I think that's how that works. Okay, that's a great pick.
Scientific ruling, it's a liquid.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, this list got sillier and sillier. I love it. Okay, so my final pick. I've heard of this movie, and then it was reminded to me when I started doing the research for this, and I am guaranteeing you I am watching it in the next 5 days because I want to check my brain away from anything serious. It is a movie from 1985 called The Stuff.
What? The Stuff?
Now, it's and here's the great news. Available right now on Amazon Prime streaming. You don't have to buy. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch this right now. Let me just tell you, I'm not even going to say this is a plot summary. Let me tell you what happens in this movie. Several railroad workers discover a white cream-like alien substance bubbling out of the ground. Tasting it, these workers find it to be sweet and addictive. Later, the substance marketed as the stuff is being sold to the public in containers like ice cream. The stuff quickly becomes a nationwide craze and drastically hurts the sales of ice cream. Now, everything I just told you, that's the first 3 minutes of the movie. So there's no, and then it dives right into, it is a crazy, okay, if I had to compare this movie to anything, first of all, if you don't like over the top, ridiculous, prop driven, grotesque horror violence, don't watch this movie. Number one.
That's a specific
good advice.
Number two, if you said, what could you relate this movie to? The movie I would relate it to is They Live. The Roddy Piper
one. Right.
Yeah, which was a anti-consumerism, anti-waste message with a whole bunch of different things going on. That's what this movie is. But let me just say, take They Live and divorce it 7 more times from reality. And that's this movie. And the scene in the movie that because the reason why I heard about this and I kind of remembered it was Garrett Morris is in it. And Garrett Morris from Saturday Night Live fame, he's done a lot of different movie portrayals. He's been in Ant-Man even too, because he played Ant-Man in a Saturday Night Live skit. There is a scene of him where he is eating the stuff. He's in a sound booth room in like a TV studio. And his death is so ridiculous, so off the chart. And let me again say the height of 1980s principal practical effects. Like, it's so ridiculous. They made his head. It looks like they had somebody who is rudimentarily good at making cakes, make a head of his and then stretch it and then blow it up. So all I got to tell you, if you want another reason to watch it, again, if you're into all that, needless to say, I might be. Paul Sorvino's in it. In a really weird role. And Mia Sorvino's in it because his daughter, she ended up coming to the set one day and they were like, "Oh, it's your daughter? She want to be in the movie? Come on, let's be in the movie." Wow. And she's like in a scene in it. This movie is so crazy, but yet its message is, it's a message for our time still. The way we market garbage and the way we just go about in the pursuit of money. It actually is worth seeing. Again, though, I can't stress enough. If you have a weak stomach or if you have a strong brain, maybe you should pass this.
I have one of those things.
Boy.
So this was a movie where those actors were slumming it then.
Well, I don't know if Paul, in 85, I don't know what Sorvino's doing. Yeah. Kind of. And Garrett Morris is he's doing his thing. And I think Danny Aiello's like in a cameo in it too.
Wow.
So it is kind of an interesting group. It's just,
yeah.
You're just going to watch it because you're going to be like, they used to make movies like this. I'm going to show my daughter. You see, you complain about today. Look at this. TikTok, whatever. All right. Did you have any good bonus? Did you have any good like reserves in case anybody stole a movie? No?
I had a couple in reserve, but they're not worth mentioning. But honestly, they were there in case I had a steal. Because honestly,
the stuff part 2.
Yes, I was going exactly. I was sitting there starting to look at one of them because when Mandy's like, "Well, there's a Batman movie," and I was like, so yeah. Great. So, but yeah, I have nothing worthy of discussion.
But same here. Yeah. And Mandy, I know you said, no. Okay. Well, anyway, that was great. Well, thank you. Thank you, last week's crew.
We did it, guys. Hey, good job, guys.
I mean,
we did it. Tough category.
Oh, it was. They really launched a grenade at us from last week.
Okay, now.
Yes, and I blame Kyle the most. He was the ringleader in all this.
He's insidious.
Yeah.
It's horrible when it comes to these. Trust me, I know. All right. So next week's So it is based on our topics. We got to come up with choices. It's based on a Russian film called City Zero. Have you guys seen this?
No, on
YouTube. Okay, it's on YouTube. It's in Russian with subtitles. I scanned through it. You want to talk about insanity? What? Who? How? Where? What is going on with the next reel? How did this movie? Anyway, let me just tell you that there is a scene involving a man being offered to eat a cake that has been made into the image of his own head.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes.
So
there it is.
I'm not going to give it. There's no spoilers. I mean, this movie's from like 1988. So I mean, like, fine. All right. So I scanned through it. It's absurd, but we got to come up with 3 topics here. I will just tell you based on that theme, and you'll see this when you see like a movie poster of it. I think one of them has got to be cake shaped as something odd. Odd shaped cake. That's a better way to say that.
Yes. Odd shaped cake or
odd shaped cakes.
Odd shaped food. Like let them have a little something.
Yeah. Couldn't they broaden it? I mean, how do you come up with 3
really
cakes?
Specific? I mean, and then also
you guys know what we just went through, right?
Most movies, that cake is going to have the same odd shape. So
or something else, but
odd shaped food. 2 odd shapes is going to be. So
odd shaped food. Odd shaped food. Fine, it's odd shaped food. Okay. They have uncomfortable speeches in front of.
Yeah, I was going to say I like uncomfortable speeches in front of them.
There we go.
It's totally cool, but they should have to do the speech on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Or at least a solid 30-second section of it.
The preamble at a minimum.
At a minimum.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm adding this officially into the words of this topic.
Great. Peculiar communities. I feel like it could lead to a culty discussion, and I love cults.
Okay.
That's a different podcast, Mickey.
That's a different.
I do. I love them.
Stuff. Well, you know what? It's not just we come up with crazy stuff. We come up with stuff that will entice tantalizing discussion. And I think that's a credit to us.
Yes.
Right. We are delightful.
Do you guys?
and we're amazing on the back. That's right.
Do you guys? Well, what a great! This has been a wonderful way to spend a Saturday. Any thoughts, final words, any things you guys want to share? Hopes?
Yes. Any hopes and dreams for the future? I'm looking forward to a nice long 3-day weekend, during which I will be watching a One Night in Miami.
What is that?
It's the One Night in Miami. It's the movie with that was directed by Regina King. It's based on the night of Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Malcolm X,
we talked about
and
that,
Sam Cooke in a hotel together. And so it's coming out on the 15th. And so as part of my 3-day weekend, I'm going to check out that movie. So I encourage anyone else to check it out as well.
Isn't Palmer coming out? I think I'm watching that.
I don't remember when Palmer is coming out. I know it's soon, but I don't know if it's this weekend or not.
Sounds familiar, but I could be making it up.
January 29th. Oh, that says Australia.
Oh, January 29th. Yeah, it's in a couple weeks.
Oh,
it's a couple weeks. Yeah.
Darn.
All right.
Then I'm gonna read this weekend. Ugh.
Yes. Fiction or nonfiction?
Well, your brain will be getting better. As opposed to us.
Can't get worse.
Yeah, we hope everybody's fine. Stay safe, everybody. All right. So, it has been a pleasure. Now, listen, when you think about this, next week's crew is going to have odd-shaped food, like we said, uncomfortable speeches in front of a crowd, which you must perform a clip of speech.
Yes.
Noted.
Exactly.
Or peculiar communities, You, the listener, have a chance to go out and vote. Now, you may say, wait a minute, Rob, how will I know for sure that my vote counts? How will you protect my speech from the usual SatMat shenanigans? I'm not saying that there's shenanigans in behind the scenes of SatMat, but I mean, if there is, let me just tell you something. It's really simple. It takes money. Your money. It's called pay to vote. But don't despair. As dark and as insidious as that may sound, our system of delivering quality content unfiltered and direct to your eager ears can be had for as little as $1 American per moon cycle. You see, it's very simple. Go straight to thenextreel.com/membership and become a supporter of the Next Reel family of podcasts. For just $1 a month, you can become a one-reeler and join our online community in our Discord server. That's where you go to the Show Talk channel and you partake in voting for the chaos that is list picking and movie sabotage each week. But hey, Rob, that sounds awfully pedestrian. I would like to do more. I would like to become a venerated lobbying official in the halls of movie-loving governance with just a few dollars more. And you can do that. You can become a two-reeler, and that supporter level will join us for live show streams that we record. You'll have early access to shows in your very own personal podcast feed and access to the super secret member channels in Discord. We have super secret member channels in Discord? Shh. I'm
not a member. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm locked out of those. I don't know. It's everything else. Hey, but listen, you can now support with a single annual donation at either level. A single annual donation. If you do that, we will love you more. To help us heal the world. For True Story FM, I'm Rob Cabasco. Thank you, Mandy Kaplan.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Ocean Murph.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks to you. Thank you. Thanks to you, especially the people who have joined us and are checking us out. Your support allows us to keep producing and growing the Next Reel family of podcasts at True Story FM. May Saturn live another afternoon. Good day. Well, that was ridiculous. What?